I could feel my body slipping away, as if an invisible hand was pulling me down into a pit. Suddenly, I was standing in a suffocating darkness. The air was heavy with the stench of burning flesh and something rotten. The ground beneath me felt alive, trembling under my feet, and from somewhere deep in the shadows came a chorus of screams so raw they pierced through my bones. Then, a faint glow revealed a face. A face I had only seen on television. My heart froze. It was a famous actor I grew up admiring, now twisted in agony. His voice shook as he called out to me, "Tell them, do not come here." But he was not the only one I saw. There were more, and each had something to say. Before I continue, I want to take a moment to appreciate every one of you watching. If you are subscribed to this channel, thank you for being part of this journey. If you are new or have been watching but have not yet subscribed, I cannot wait for you to join us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and share this video so others can hear this testimony. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. My name is Janet. I was born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska, where winter nights feel endless and silence can stretch for miles. I grew up in church, but I was the kind of Christian who knew the right words without living the right life. I was polite on Sundays but prideful, bitter, and unforgiving in secret. By the time I was in my late 20s, I had traded prayer for busyness, and I only mentioned God when I needed something. I was not an atheist. I believed he existed, but I doubted that hell was a real place for people like me. I thought it was only for the worst of the worst. On the night of January 12th, last winter, my life and everything I believed would be shattered. The darkness around me seemed alive, pressing in on every side. A dry heat rose from the ground, wrapping around me like a suffocating blanket. Each breath felt like inhaling smoke. My ears rang with screams, some near, some echoing from deep, endless chasms. The sound was not just noise. It carried despair so thick it weighed on my chest. I tried to move, but the ground beneath my bare feet was jagged and searing hot. I flinched at the pain, but there was nowhere to go. In the distance, a flicker of light revealed shapes moving, twisted, grotesque forms crawling, writhing, and clawing at each other. Some were dragged by shadowy creatures with eyes that glowed like embers. Then I saw him again, the famous actor from the first moment I arrived. His skin was blistered, peeling, and his eyes carried a sadness I could not explain. "Tell them," he cried again, his voice hoarse. "Tell them this place is real. My fame, my money, it meant nothing here." A demon yanked him away, its claws digging into his shoulders as he screamed. But then, I heard a woman's voice, faint but desperate. I turned and my heart stopped. It was a singer whose songs once filled my playlists, her beauty now almost unrecognizable. She reached for me, her hands bound by what looked like molten chains. "I thought I had time," she said, her words trembling. I told myself I would change. Later. But there is no later here. Her face twisted in pain, and suddenly, the ground beneath her split open, swallowing her whole. I stumbled backward, my mind spinning. How could these people, admired, celebrated, be here? I wanted to run, but every direction seemed worse than the last. To my left, rivers of fire cut through the darkness, and I saw shapes in the flames, people screaming, trying to climb out, only to be dragged back down by the very ones they had hurt in life. To my right, shadowed corridors twisted endlessly, filled with mocking voices that called my name. That is when I felt it, a presence behind me, cold, heavy, and filled with hate. I turned slowly, and in the faint glow, I saw eyes. Not human eyes, but burning coals set into a face I cannot even describe without shuddering. It grinned, and I knew without words. It wanted me. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The creature's burning eyes locked on mine, and I could feel its hatred crawling across my skin. It moved closer, each step causing the ground to tremble beneath my feet. My legs weakened, and I sank to my knees. My mind screamed, "This is it. I will never leave this place." Then it happened. A blinding light, pure and unlike anything I had ever seen, tore through the darkness. It was not just bright, it was alive. Every shadow recoiled, and the screams faded into a low, distant moan. The creature hissed, covering its face, before retreating into the black. I shielded my eyes, trembling, and then I heard a voice. Janet. It was not loud, yet it filled every part of me. The moment I heard it, I knew this was Jesus. His presence was overwhelming, but not in the way the darkness had been. This was power and love, woven together. The heat of hell gave way to a warmth that wrapped around me like safety itself. "Why are you here?" he asked, not in accusation, but in grief. I tried to speak, but tears choked my words. My mind flashed through my life. Every time I had chosen my own way, every grudge I refused to let go of, every prayer I skipped because I thought I was too busy. I realized I had lived for myself, while wearing the title of a Christian like a badge I did not deserve. "You have seen what waits for the unrepentant," he said. "And now you will tell them. Not just the ones who listen easily, but the ones who laugh. The ones who think they have time." I wept uncontrollably. The light grew even brighter, wrapping me in its glow. In that moment, I felt two things at once: the crushing weight of my guilt and the unimaginable relief of mercy. I wanted to stay there forever, but I knew this was not my home. "Go," he said softly, "and do not forget." The warmth surged around me, and suddenly, I was falling upward, away from the flames, away from the cries, toward the faint sound of a heartbeat. My eyes snapped open to the blinding white light of a hospital room. The beeping of machines echoed in my ears, and my chest rose and fell with ragged breaths. My body felt heavy, but my spirit felt as if it had been torn from the depths of a nightmare. A nurse gasped when she saw my eyes open, calling for the doctor. They told me I had collapsed at home. My neighbor, who heard the sound of me hitting the floor, had called for help. My heart had stopped for several minutes. I should not have been here, but I was. For days, I could barely speak without breaking down. The images of the famous faces in torment replayed in my mind. Their desperate words haunted me at night. I no longer cared about my career ladder, my social image, or my carefully built reputation. None of it mattered now. All that mattered was the truth I had seen and the mission I had been given. I left behind old habits, friendships that pulled me away from God, and the lukewarm faith that nearly destroyed me. I began to pray like my life depended on it, because it did. And I spoke boldly, even when people rolled their eyes. I told my family, my coworkers, even strangers, hell is real, and it is not for who you think. It is for anyone who rejects God. I knew I had been spared for a reason. My heart now beats for one purpose: to make sure no one I know hears those same desperate words in eternity. Tell them, do not come here. If this testimony shook you, do not ignore it. Give your life to Jesus today. He is the only way to heaven. John 14, verse 6. Share this video so someone you love can hear the truth about eternity. And subscribe to Testify and Thrive for more real-life testimonies every day.